Carlita?
Yes, there we go. What's up? You're muted. There you go. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. We missed y'all last week.
Yes.
Got no sports here. Sadell Nicole, the Lioness, and
Carlita Nicole, the Purple Queen herself, Chi-Town, born and bred, Texas fed. What's up, y'all? Yes. Today, we do have like a lot of discussions to get down to the nitty gritty with, okay? And I know we missed you guys last week. We just gonna dive into it. You know why? Because there's been headlines after headlines after headlines just today, mostly about Jalen Carter. Who the heck is Jalen Carter? Y'all, he is the top draft prospect from Georgia who just won a national championship. And this morning he was issued at a arrest warrant for reckless driving and racing. This is now an investigation, has been, because two people died in this involving the crash. So details of it, after you read a bunch of different articles, it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. So basically what ended up happening was, I guess they went to celebrate the night after or the weekend after they won the championship, and Carter was driving his vehicle, and there was another vehicle that was being driven by someone of the staff, one of the recruiters on the Georgia staff, with another football player, as well as another worker and a staff person and another football player. So 4 people in her vehicle, and he was driving, I guess, by himself, it appears, in his vehicle. They're driving to 3 o'clock in the morning. Her vehicle went over 104 miles an hour, and she ended up going to the hospital and died later on. But one of the football players died there at the scene, and the other 2 were injured, and I believe still recovering from their injuries. There's so many different things going on with this story, because Jalen Carter first told the police he wasn't there. You know why? Because he left the scene. He left the scene, went to the apartment complex that was nearby, came back a couple of hours later and told the police, I heard about the accident because I was over here at this apartment complex. Later on, it came out that he was there and was one of the cars that were racing down. I'm not sure if it was a highway, a street, but her vehicle was going so fast, Sadell. She went through a utility pole, a power line pole, and then ended up hitting a tree and then another tree.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. And it was said that she was over the limit, like 2 times the legal amount of alcohol that's supposed to be in your system while driving. Sadell, not just that. I told you this was a staff member, right?
Right.
This vehicle that she was driving was only supposed to be used for recruiting purposes, not to be going around, drinking with your team. You are the adult, you are the staff person. Jalen Carter now has these charges. They are misdemeanors in the state of Georgia. We do know he was one of the top, and still may be one of the top draft prospects. But with all of these new allegations coming and more things coming out about this investigation, I wanted to know, for one, what do you think is going to happen with Jalen Carter and the whole draft prospect? And then the second part of the question is, what the heck is going to happen to Georgia and all of the mess that they have to now deal with, because these were employees of the school?
Honestly, whatever happens with Jalen is going to depend on what happens with this. because I think right now he's only charged with 2 misdemeanor
Yes,
charges, right?
yes, reckless
And
driving
if it's
charges.
just 2 misdemeanor reckless driving charges, then his draft stock is probably not going to drop very much, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is like, I mean, he's a top draft choice. I mean, they're saying he is the best player, period, in this class of
Exactly.
2023. And
Yes.
so they projected him to go number one.
Right.
They drop slightly, maybe,
Okay.
if it stays with the misdemeanor. Now, the problem is now with all this other stuff coming out, because he lied to the police, and he left the scene, and I mean, he's probably a scared kid, freaked out,
Mm-hmm.
and then comes back, and so something may become of it just with that, and then the fact that now it's reckless driving, and you have these lives lost. And I mean, he may end up,
Right.
and if that happens, then his stock is probably going to drop. Now, as far as Georgia, I think, to be honest, I think, well, yeah, Aunt said their families, like the families will probably,
Yes.
try and sue them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much trouble they're going to get in, because we don't know the circumstances behind why they were even in those cars. And because we don't know, Georgia gets to say whatever they want to say. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
We don't know, but this is an accident that happened between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and the alcohol level, and she was an employee with another employee with two student athletes in a university vehicle.
right, but I'm saying their liability lies a lot with them being in a university vehicle, but we don't know what the circumstances, because I think she was a recruiting analyst, maybe something
If
like that.
you are a recruiter, they already go to the school.
No, but what I'm saying is she may have a vehicle that she wasn't necessarily supposed to be driving, but that she maybe had access to. That's not necessarily on the university, that's on her, right?
Okay. Okay.
And the other thing is, and it's crazy to me because they're all very young. I
Very,
mean,
yes. Even the staff, the one who passed
exactly.
away, she was 24.
Exactly. So that's my thing. I mean, so it could have been her just like, hey guys, let's go out, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how much liability is going to fall on the university, because we don't know if the university gave her full leeway with this vehicle
Mm-hmm.
that she was only supposed to use for it, but acting
Right.
like a 24-year-old goes out drinking with these boys who are basically her age, and makes some bad decisions that end up costing her life. Now,
Yes.
I think, depending on how that plays out, I mean, the families will probably sue, just because, I mean, they're grieving and there's a lot that's happened, but
Right.
I don't know how much real true liability is going to fall on the hands of the actual university.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So right now, what we do know is that, like I said, this warrant was issued this morning.
Right.
For Jalen is at the NFL Combine, and he was supposed to appear at the media session and did not. But there
Right.
was a statement saying that he's hoping that these things, these allegations, can be cleared up. It's suspected that he is going to turn himself in, but I am curious as to how this is going to play out. As far as it's one thing if the charges remain misdemeanor charges, but if they try to add something else, and try to blame him for the accident, because they're still investigating the ways in which they were traveling. And so I hope that it's kind of cut and dry, and that these are the charges that he'll have to deal with. But I am looking forward to trying to see, like, I'm going to continue following the story to see where this is going to go. The the draft is April 27th, and so there's some time here to for these things to happen. I do think that there's some risk if you're looking to draft him, and if you're a team who's desperate, Are you going to take that risk and draft him in the first round and just say, okay, well, we'll wait and see what happens, like the Cleveland Browns did with Deshaun Watson? Or do
I
you let
mean,
him pass to the next team?
I think by the time Cleveland and Deshaun got together, a lot of stuff had passed and ironed out, and they had a better view of
That's
what was going to
true. Yes.
happen. I feel like in this scenario, probably by the time April rolls around, they'll have a better idea of what's going to happen, because if new charges are going to be brought, they're going to be brought surely before that draft rolls around. And
Right.
the other thing with that is, I think that probably, I mean, I think, like I said, they'll have a better idea of what happens, and then just depending on what those charges are, will probably determine how that plays out.
Right.
And if it ends up that he's just going to be misdemeanors and whatever, then I feel like his stock will still be up there, and whoever needs
Right.
him is going to pull him.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I hope that this works out in everybody's best favor. It's just an unfortunate situation all around for the
It is.
school, for the team. It's like you just won this national championship, you're on top of the world, and then boom, you're losing the people that you played with,
Yeah.
people who were there supporting you in your organization. So my heart goes out to them, and I hope that this is something that they all can get through.
And the thing that I hate so much about this is literally just uh, a careless teenager incident. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it wasn't anything malicious. It wasn't anything, it was just a kid or group of kids drinking and, having fun in their eyes. And it just went tragically
Right.
wrong. And which is something that can happen. And because they do it a lot. And I hate this for him, because
I know.
it literally has changed his life forever, like
Yes.
forever, regardless of what the legal allegations end up being, or whatever penalties and whatever happens with him in the NFL. Still,
Mhm.
this is going to be something that he's going to have to live with for the rest of his life, and that is the thing I think that hurts me the most, because that could be any one of our kids just being careless and not thinking, and there it is.
So we're gonna segue into another set of circumstances with another young man and get your opinion on that. And this young man, I'm talking about Ja Morant. Hey, Daddy, thanks for tuning in. So, you guys know Ja Morant is a hot young starter for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's one of the most exciting, exhilarating players to watch in the NBA today. Okay, he's had a great first few years in the league. However, just today, like a bunch of different allegations about Ja Morant has surfaced, and let's just talk about it. So for one, he was accused. There's three different things that he's being accused of. He was accused of punching a 17-year-old multiple times. They're saying around 15 times at his house during, I guess, some pickup game that he was playing at his house. And then after beating up the boy, comes out and flashes a gun that's in his waist at the kid. Ja claims this was self-defense because the boy threw a ball and the ball hit him in the head. Um, so I don't know how all that pans out. There was never enough evidence to have charges for that situation. The second thing was there's a head of security at a mall in Memphis that says he was threatened by Ja Morant, and then a member of Ja Morant's crew, entourage, shoved the dude in the head like you muffed a security guard. Okay. Now, the third incident has to do with another NBA team, the Indiana Pacers. So apparently, after a game that was played on January 29th at the FedEx Arena, uh, what it, what it says was that Ja was accused of allegedly aggressively confronting members of the Pacers traveling party following the game. He was in a slow moving vehicle, and someone in the vehicle was shining a red laser on them, and the Pacers were unsure if this laser was attached, if a gun was attached to the laser. But they knew that Ja Morant was in the vehicle. So I don't know if this is some type of intimidation tactic or whatever the case was, but it now seems that Ja Morant has a list of allegations of situations where either him himself he's involved in an altercation or somebody in his entourage. But we also have seen recently his father in the news with Shannon Sharp going back and forth. Sadell, it's so much in the midst of all of that. Give me your thoughts on it.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of weird. The incident with the kid, I think this kid is like 17 years old, which I guess I don't get the relationship with that because why is it 17? Why am I playing pickup with a 17-year-old at my house?
Right.
And I don't know if I just don't understand what the relationship is between that. So, like, is this a relative that I'm cool with, or somebody else's kid?
Right.
Because that in itself is just weird. But like you said, they apparently get into this thing, and he said Ja punched him like 12 or 13 times, and then comes back out with a gun. But then Ja files his own police report saying the kid threatened to light his house up. I'm gonna come back and, light this house up, through the ball at his head or whatever. That he was acting in self-defense because, the boy threw the ball at him. So I don't know. Now the thing is, the district attorney was like, "There's not enough evidence," and they just dropped that. That went away. And then the other incident, which actually happened before that, in the mall, they said, I guess Jai's mom had gotten into it with a mall worker, and that's how that whole incident started. And they asked them to leave, and they wouldn't leave, and Jai was like, "Let me know when he gets off work." Now, I think the thing that bothers me the most is if my son is Jai Morant, I'm not going to be causing problems that might get him in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what kind of incident would have happened in a mall. And we don't know what happened. It just said, that apparently his mom got into it with a mall worker, and then they all get into it and all that. But I just can't imagine allowing my son to get into an incident that may jeopardize his future, because that's really what it is. Even just him leaving, like, let me find out when he's getting off. That's a threat, right?
It is.
And so, I don't know. And then, like you said, with his dad, I'm just not sure what's going on. It's just a lot of chaos. And he is such an amazing player. I just, I just don't want anything crazy to happen that will jeopardize his future, So now the thing is, nothing has come of all these. It's just weird that, so close. This is like last summer. So this isn't even something that recently happened. This stuff happened like last summer with the incident with the kid and the incident in the mall. But just the fact that, all this stuff is starting to come out, I don't know. And then maybe making it come out publicly, maybe that'll calm him down and be like, hey, I need to watch myself because, something could really happen. I hope.
So that's one of the things that does concern me, because he is such an electric player. Just he's so fun to watch. And like with Memphis, they love Ja Morant. And he is their celebrity. He is the one that's going to take them to the promised land. And I'm not so sure that has not gone to his head. And it seems like in these instances that it may have gone to his head, and he's just not in a position anymore where people would be bold enough to tell him no, or stop, what you're doing is wrong. It seems like maybe he does have like a lot of yes men around him, and I'm not sure. I'm just saying that the situation seemed to be, he's not by himself, it's other people with him.
So my thing also with that is you got to think about just in the instance of you have this kid who comes into all this money, you got all these people around telling you how, not even a kid, to be honest. I mean, he's like 23 years old, a 50, 60-year-old person, where it's everybody is constantly telling you how great you are. Like, it takes a special kind
Yes,
of person to not let that go to your head.
yes,
And
I agree.
and so couple that on top of him being like so electrifying and so amazing, and then having these great seasons. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there are some people around him who are yes men, and
Right.
kind of falling through it. And yeah, I do feel like a bit of this has gone to his head.
See, Benji is saying that he's acting like a spoiled brat if these allegations are true. But this is the thing, like, all of them can't be a lie. Or
Well,
I
he's not
understand
denying that they're
exaggeration.
true. He's not denying that they're true. He's just saying the
Right.
story is a little different. He's not saying he
Yes.
didn't beat the kid up. He's saying that the kid started it, so
Mhm.
he's not denying anything. So they're true. It's just, a matter of how he's handling things.
So let me ask you guys this. Now, we just talked about the situation with Jalen Carter, and this is a young man who made a mistake. I'm a kid. I'm celebrating this national championship that we just won, and I do something and it affects the rest of my life. Then you have a Ja Morant who now he has all that he wants. He's on top of the world. He doesn't have a championship, but he's on top of the world. He's not playing in college. He's getting paid. He's living the life, and he's making these mistakes that I hope don't catch up to him in the wrong way. But what do you think is the difference here? Like, it just seems like this generation, I don't want to just say this generation, because I understand when you're young, you're careless, but like, goodness, to this extent, when you make a certain amount of money, or when you get a certain amount of notoriety, that you just lose it and say, okay, well, I got money, so I can drive over 100 miles an hour down the street, or I can do this, or I could do that. Like, I just don't understand what's going on with it. But I see similarities in both of these young men, and in a lot of young men these days. So I guess the question is, what do you guys see between the two situations? Like, is this something that is just because they're young and they need more life experience, or what is it?
So I guess for me, these are completely different stories. You know what I'm saying? I I feel like with Jalen is different because it's not like with Jai, which, and I like Ja Morant a lot. I think he's a great player. I like to watch him play, but it's more of an arrogance thing than me just being a teenager and making a mistake. And I think the other thing with this whole thing is I'm wondering why all of this is just coming out now if this happened last summer. I mean, I don't remember hearing anything about this last
Mm,
summer, right?
no.
And so, I think the allegations were brought like in September, and I just don't remember hearing anything about this
So you're saying,
really
why
till now.
now?
Right. And so, I just, whatever happened, but I mean, you're talking about what, 6, 7 months later, now it's coming out. And then now let's go back and revisit the thing that happened in the mall. And now let's talk about, oh, by
Mhm.
the way, some of his entourage threatened some of the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess maybe this just caused people to start digging more, and now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, is there more to find?
That's why
Or,
you have to be careful.
but that's what I'm saying. Like in the instance with the kids in Georgia, it was just a group of kids made a mistake. I guess, that's what it seems like. But
Right.
Judges, it's kind of like Benji said, he acts kind of like a brat, and he acts kind of arrogant, like I can do
Entitled.
this, you know what I'm saying? And it's very hard. It's hard to stay humble when you have people walking around throwing roses at your feet and telling you how great you are. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to have somebody around you to keep you grounded. And I think that NFL, NBA has symposium with incoming players regarding behavior and consequences that rookies snooze through or text on phones during these sessions. And I've heard that as well. But even
Wow.
beyond that, somebody has to be around. Dude, you good, but you're not
Yep.
as good as you think you are. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
they have to have somebody around them that's going to keep them grounded. But if he taking care of everybody around him and they don't want him to not take care of him,
Right.
then
Yes, ma'am.
that kind of plays a part in it too. And I hate that because I mean there's consequences for every action. And
Yes.
even though like this kid is saying he accidentally hit Jai in the head when he threw the ball, check it with him. For all we know, to be honest, in this scenario, kid could be lying. Kid could have just thrown the ball at him and then Jai just went off and beat him up. We don't really know what happened.
Right.
But just the way it's all coming out, it's making him look like the bad guy.
Right. It's unfortunate. So let me tell you what's not unfortunate though. The Memphis Grizzlies are number 2 in the West right now, y'all. So let's dive into this real quick because why? Y'all see I'm wearing my Mavericks representing for my Dallas teams tonight. And we are currently number 7 in the West, right after the Clippers. Now, here's the deal. The Nuggets once again are like silently winning because they are number 1. Then you have the Grizzlies, the Kings too. Like I haven't heard a whole lot about the Kings or the Nuggets this season, but they are winning, and that's what matters. Now, after them, you have the Suns. What's the deal with the Suns now? Do you know that KD is now with the Suns? And now it's him and it's Devin Booker. And what's going to happen in Phoenix with a KD and a Devin Booker? Are they going to be a better duo than a Luka and a Kyrie? No,
Uh,
no.
I
But
don't know. The Luka Kyrie thing, anyway, go ahead.
so that's the thing. Okay, so that's what we have with KD in Phoenix. His debut is tonight. Um, the Warriors are number 5. Steph is hurt. The Clippers just got Russell Westbrook. They're still trying to figure that whole thing out. And then there's us, like I said, in number 7. My beloved Mavericks. So let me tell y'all what has happened in our last couple of games. First of all, when we played the Lakers in the game that LeBron got hurt, did we have a lead?
A 30-point lead.
Did they come back historically against us? Yes, they did and won a game they should not have won. And then, doggone, did we play the Pacers? Was it last night, the night before? And we got down to the last shot, and Kyrie Irving shot it. He missed it. But that was also a game where it's like at the end of the game, if we had just played a little bit more defense,
We
then we
don't
would have
play
won that game.
defense. We don't play defense.
Okay, I did see Kyrie. He played some defense at the end of the game. I did see that. Maxi Kleber is back. That's a good thing for us. But for whatever reason, it's not gelling. It's not working yet. We still have till April, so we have time. But what do we need to fix this, Adele? Because you are the basketball coach. Coach.
No, I mean, I hope it's. Do you remember when LeBron first went to Miami, and they were all like, "No, you shoot it. No, you shoot it. No, you be the guy.
Yeah,
No, you be the guy." You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, so when
yeah,
LeBron first went out there, and he and Dwayne Wade, I mean, we like, man, this is a dynamic trio of people,
yeah.
and they gon' and it took them a minute to get it. I hope it's just that. I hope it's, yeah, like Baron said. I mean, hopefully, it's just them feeling each other out, because
Yes.
sometimes it's almost like they defer too much,
Yes.
and it's like they are just trying to figure out their role, and at some point somebody's gonna have to be Batman, somebody's gonna have to be Robin. I mean, that's just what it is. And so they just, I hope, just got to get that figured out. I do. I think, kind of like I said, whenever that whole Miami thing happened, they didn't win for a while, and everybody was like, God dang, it's not working. But you know, they brought it together, and they did what they had to do. I mean, it wasn't they didn't have the talent. It's just
Right.
figuring it out. Yeah.
So there's a definite possibility, guys, that we can still make it to the
Yeah.
playoffs. And so the play-in tournament, y'all know, our teams 7, 8, 9, and 10. The play-in tournament this year will start it'll be April 11th through April 14th. Because the first round of the playoffs start April 15th. So here's the deal. March just started, so we have a month and a half of regular season games. Okay. And like I said, we are 7, the Timberwolves are 8, then the Jazz and the Pelicans are 10. However, the Pelicans have 30 games won, and 11 and 12, the Blazers and the Lakers are at 29 games. So there's still a possibility that the Lakers or the Blazers could outplay the Pelicans and still be in the play-in tournament. Now, with LeBron being out for the next couple of weeks, this is going to be great if they don't even make it to the play-in tournament. So that would be awesome. But I also don't want to be in the play-in tournament with I don't, because I just feel like if we start to jail, I don't want us to have our first playoff run in the play-in tournament and we're fighting for our lives. So
I mean, the Warriors and the Clippers. I mean, especially the Clippers. I mean, we're still within a game of each of them. So
yes, we are.
I mean, I don't feel like, if we can get them to gel a little quicker, I don't feel like that's something that we can't overcome.
To not be in the play-in
Yeah, I mean,
tournament.
we just need to bump up one spot.
I know, but see, so I want to say last year we were teetering, tottering 7 and 8, 6, 7, 8, going back
Right.
and forth, and we ended up in the tournament. I don't want to be in the play-in tournament. I don't. I don't. You know why though? That's more rest. We need that rest. So
Well, you said we need that rest. Charles Barkley said you paying $300 million to bums to
let's
rest.
let's
So
get into
I
that.
don't know. Hey,
Thank you.
Dier, my dude.
What's up, dear? Yes, I yeah, the Lakers, I don't know. But yes, let's get into this next discussion real quick. And Dier, you're gonna have to let me know what you think about this too. Barron says he told us that Mr. Stat Lover LeBron is a gatekeeper. He knows. Look at his actions. Okay, Barron, I hear you. So, y'all, what Sadell was just talking about is our next subject. This whole Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley started going in on today's NBA players, okay? No filter, okay? So basically, he was like, how you gonna make $70 million a year and you can't play basketball 3 or 4 days out of a week? They fly private. Y'all got the best medical staffs in the world. It ain't like you work at a steel mill. Those people who do work at a steel mill, they tired. Guess what? They still go to work. So you mean to tell me that you can't do that? And then furthermore, even on top of that, I've heard him say before, it is unfair to the fan who goes and spends our money to go to these games to see our favorite players, and then they on the bench and not because they're injured. What do y'all think about that? The coaches, the athletes, players, y'all let me know what y'all think about load management as a whole overall, because load management, I feel like there are solutions to this to where we don't have to have load management. But y'all give me your take first. And hold on. So Ant says it doesn't make sense for the Mavs to be in the play-in turning if they're supposed to be a championship contender. I do kind of sort of agree with that. I just don't like how he said it. Go ahead, Sadell. Oh, sorry.
I'm kind of torn. I mean, to be honest, I do get to a certain degree that load management has to happen. But Charles Barkley, I agree. I'm not an advocate of it. I get why they do it, and I hate it because I mean, I guess when you think about watching basketball all this time, Michael Jordan, that Magic Johnson, I don't remember those guys saying, "Hey, I'm tired. I'm going to take a few games off to let me relax and then come back." And there was a Joe Starkey who came up with this thing, and he was going against Charles Barkley, and he was saying basically, first of all, he said it's hypocritical for Charles Barkley to talk about load management and how much money they get paid when he was like, you make $70 million a year and you only work 2 games a night, or you only work 2 nights a week, so he was going with that. But my thing is, I do get that. Like, you come to see the dudes. And so the thing is, so imagine you want to see the Lakers play. So they put the schedule out. You done bought this ticket. LeBron is coming to Dallas. And then that's his load management night. He's not making the trip. He's not playing. You can't get your money back. You might be able to sell the ticket. But the point of you going to see it, exactly.
Yes, dear.
Exactly. They played. And so I do get what they're saying, whatever. People, the seasons are longer. They do whatever. But it's just, it is. I mean, from a fan standpoint, and the teams now are looking at their investment and their money, and they're trying to protect the players, and they're going through all this. And so another thing that Starkey brought up was how he said basically NFL players usually rest their starters like the week before playoffs. So in that last game, if it doesn't count or matter, they don't put their main guys in. Missing 1 football game is equivalent to missing 5 NBA games because of the number of games that they play.
Right.
And then they talked about Saturday and Sunday lineups in baseball and how they switch that out so they can rest the players. So his point was that other sports do load management in different ways. But I guess, I don't know. I guess for me, I'm kind of like the air. It's just you watch them, and then you have people like Kobe. Like Kobe talked about how he specifically trained to make sure that he would be able to sustain and his body would be healthy enough to go to the season. And so if you know what your body is going to need, like these dudes have so much money. Yes. Exactly. They make so much money that allows them to train and recover and do the stuff that they would definitely need to do to be able to perform. So from a fan perspective, nah, I don't. I mean, but exactly.
I agree, Baron. He says exactly. Earned every right to comment on these soft players. He is a true Hall of Famer to the booth. He is. So,
and he was a dog. He wasn't Charles Barkley. Right. Oh, I'm not going to play tonight. I got to save my body. No, he's throwing his body at every play. Like Charles Barkley played harder than anybody every game. And so I agree, Baron. He does have that right.
Right. So Ant says professional sports leagues exist successfully because fans pay in various ways to watch the games. NBA teams are ignoring that now in the name of prioritizing championship runs and elongating careers for the players. So, okay.
Some of y'all ain't even running for the playoffs. Not gonna even get there. But anyway, go ahead.
Right. Right. So here's the deal. Like, I understand wanting to elongate players' careers and keeping them healthier longer. I get that. But if you can't play a whole 80 something game season, like what Charles is saying, and play a few games every week and do practices in these top state of the art gyms
Facility.
and
Yeah.
facilities with these top trainers and stuff, then
Been trained differently.
yes,
That been trained differently so you can.
do that. Or the NBA could also maybe shorten the season a little bit, make 10 games. What is 10 games? And I understand. So hear me out with this. It's just an idea, a suggestion. But if you 10 games at the beginning of the season, just like make that more preseason ish, and start your season a couple of weeks later, and require players, like, if you are healthy you should play. Before, when the Spurs in the early 2010s, when Popovich was sitting players, and when they weren't injured, the NFL fined them. Go back to that. If you don't have a official injury designation, then you need to be playing. Why? Because these people have paid for their tickets. Um, and yes, I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars to go to a daggone game, and then I see LeBron sitting on the bench, or I see Luca sitting on the bench. Like, no, I don't want that. And then if that, I want to have faith in my daggone team to shoot. If you got to sit out half the daggone season, are you going to be able to play in the daggone playoffs, the whole playoff? No. I think the NFL, the NBA should be able to figure out a way to compromise in that situation, to because I just think load management is a bit much, and I don't like it, and I think that it shouldn't even be a thing.
But see, with Pop, the thing that happened is, he had these veteran players, Obi-Wan Ginobili, who I love, and they were still sneaking up and still making deep runs in the playoffs and giving people problems. And he knew that he had a crew of people who were getting older, and he started doing that. And the NBA did fine him, but he ate those fines because that's what he felt was best for his older players. And that's what I think really kind of started this trend. And I think Barron was saying something about kids. I mean, they do that now. I mean, high school, college, they do that now. Like, kid may not play on a certain night just because the game is not as valuable. I mean, that happens even now. It is a lot of wear and tear on your body. And I think for me, more so from a professional's perspective, because you have the means to do whatever recovery and whatever treatment you need to make sure that your body's okay. You have the means to train all off season with whomever to do whatever you need to do to make sure that your body is okay, barring any injury. Not all high school or collegiate players have those things and are able to do that, but from a professional perspective, you can.
Right. So I'm telling y'all, I'm so anti-load management for the same reasons that a lot of you guys are. I grew up watching Jordan. I grew up in Chicago. So yeah, there wasn't load management. I watched Jordan play with the flu that we now know wasn't the daggone flu, but I watched him play through illness and injury
and not want to come out the game.
No, coach, I'm good. I got this. And winning games. And see, this is the thing, the difference between like the Jordans and the Kobes. They played through the pain and the sicknesses, illnesses, all of that stuff. but it equated to wins. And that's the part that's frustrating, because it's like y'all are sitting out for half the season and your team still ain't winning.
Right. And then even like Link said, I don't know if you even showed this already, but no, they don't even play near 40 minutes a game. But see, and I'm just saying, and everybody doesn't want to have this Michael Jordan conversation, but Michael Jordan played 40 minutes, 38 minutes a game for sure. I mean, he didn't come out the game. And he played 38 hard minutes for however many games they had for the season.
Offense and defense.
And so, I mean, it's different. And people always say, like, kids are built differently these days. I mean, kids are made the same. It's just what we allow. And it's like, just like everything in football, we soften stuff up. And I mean, it is. There's protocols and a lot of things, safety, that we didn't know about back then. But a lot of things have softened up. And along with that, we've softened up a lot of the kids.
That's so unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And okay. I want to ask you your opinion that I saw on something earlier this week. I'll come back to that after we talk about the East real quick, because who gonna beat the Bucks?
No one, I don't think. Celtics, I don't know, but the Bucks, I just love some Giannis. Like that dude.
Yeah. He's so dope. He's such a great personality. I know y'all heard me say that before, but he's like, I just want to hug him.
Right.
He just seems so cool. Like I want to, come on, y'all, let's go watch a movie. Let's go keep
right.
Whatever. But it just seems like his personality just does wonders for that organization, because his teammates buy into it. And then did I just hear, is Jay Crowder a daggone Buck now? Somehow in this whole Phoenix trade, and I thought he was going to Brooklyn, and then I was like, oh, he's in the Bucks? Seriously? Y'all, everybody needs to watch. At one point last year, I said the team that's going to give the Bucks a run for their money will be the Brooklyn Nets if the three could get it together. And then the three turned into the two, and that still never meshed.
Right.
And it all crumbled down. Now Brooklyn is looking like, what happened?
Right.
So I just feel like, shoot, the Knicks are showing up. The 76ers, let me tell you, I love Joel Embiid, but it just seems like he always can only get so far. And I hate that for him. I don't want the Sixers to win, though. And I'm not a Harden fan like that. But I do feel bad for Joel Embiid, because I know that's his team. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't seem like he's not one to hop from team to team chasing championships and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that the Celtics, the Sixers, the Knicks, I don't know who gonna beat the Bucks.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's weird even to see the Cavaliers in this conversation. Like,
because the Cavs are a super young team.
Right.
They are very young. Very, very young. And says that the Sixers and the Mavs play tomorrow. That's gonna be interesting. With Harden and Kyrie.
I know. Yeah.
Both Holiday brothers in the finals. The Bucks and the Mavs. Baron, quit playing with my emotions like that, okay?
Yeah.
I dig it though. Quit playing with my emotions. And to be honest, no, I do not want to play the Bucks in the daggone finals. You know why? Because they know how to win championships. They do this.
They do, but hey, if we get there, that would be amazing. I think we might need a little more cooking time, but
yeah, maybe. Lincoln says that Embiid hopefully doesn't suffer the fate of Ewing. Oh, Patrick, you talking about Patrick or
Yeah, Patrick Ewing
oh, yes, with Phoenix
tonight.
is tonight. Yes. And so that is something that I do want to see. Um, just to see if I need to be concerned or worried. KD is dealing with the coming from a MCL sprain. So we'll see how he manages with that injury, how long they're going to have him on the court. We don't know. And if it's gonna mesh well in Phoenix, let's see. But like I said, the Suns are number 4. That's just look. But back to the East, y'all, I, I don't know. Like I feel like our play-in tournament is gonna be so much more interesting. Um, but I just don't see anybody in their play-in tournament even getting to the playoffs enough to be able to competes against Milwaukee.
Right.
Seriously. Seriously. They have the Heat are currently in 7th place, the Hawks in 8th, then the Raptors and the Wizards. The Bulls and the Pacers shortly after that, behind the game. So anything could happen seriously in the last it's about 6 weeks that we have before this play-in tournament. So y'all know I'm going to be updating us weekly because I love the whole idea of the play-in tournament. I just hate for my team to have to be in it. That's
Right.
the part that I don't like.
Yeah. And that's another thing that they were talking about with this whole thing, where the Grizzlies are, that somebody else started leaking stuff about Jai so that it could take them and kick off track, getting ready to go into the playoffs. That was an interesting take on that.
Mm, mm. Dang, and said who's gonna be CP3, Booker, and KD in the West. First of all,
We'll
we gotta
see.
see.
We got to
We
see.
gonna see. We know what CP3 and Booker can do on the same team, but adding the KD, we will see because y'all thought that it was gonna work in Brooklyn and it didn't. It crumbled. It collapsed. It was horrible.
Yeah, it should have though. Like, God dang, that should have been like magical.
It should have been, and it wasn't. And
It wasn't.
so I'm not getting my hopes up high. I don't want to see them doing it. The thing is, I like CP3. I really do, but dang. And then Bear said he fell off. As soon as I say that, Bear says he fell off. He's the dude. Michael, really, Michael Westbrook.
He is.
War
He
general,
is.
it won't crumble. But we don't know how we got to see how KD is gonna come back. He's already saying like, yeah, I'm not gonna be 100%, but we'll have to see.
I know. Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
That's crazy. And then, first of all, is Dame Lillard scoring 70 some points in the game?
Girl.
What? And this is the thing, when a team is scoring 170 something points, y'all, where's the defense? There is none.
There's not a lot of pride in defense in general in the NBA, to be honest. There's
Not anymore.
not
Not
anymore.
like it was, yes,
Right.
because it used to be
Yeah, for sure.
a symbol of pride.
For
Like
sure.
I'm gonna show you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see how many bruises you come off this court with.
Yeah, you come through this pain, you're gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
yeah.
But now it's like you can't touch anybody. You can't
Well,
foul.
it's not even that. It's that everybody wants to score more than they want to defend.
Yes. Yes. And literally, so I saw a highlight with the Knicks, and it was Schroeder. Schroeder threw a pass that got deflected and then stolen, and he just sat there while the other team just went right around him. He just was like, I didn't want my ball to get stolen. Oh, I guess I got to get back in the game. And it's like, what? Like, and I just remember in all the years that I managed, I have so many years of managing basketball experience, ladies and gentlemen. But in all of my years of managing as the top number one manager that any of my coaches ever had, in all of those years, all of my coaches, we don't play like that. My coaches, they would have got out that game. They would have set the bench for the rest of that game. And I just don't understand like why players nowadays just like no defensive. I don't even understand what's so funny, Sadell.
Because you got to go give your whole managerial resume.
Because did I earn it? I did.
You did it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She's such a hater, y'all. She won't let me be great. Okay. But it's all good. But y'all,
We
okay.
appreciate the managers, though. I'm not kidding, and I mean that.
Ones like me, like who actually manage and take care of stuff. So yes. Anyway. So
Anyway,
yeah. Ed says the modern all-star game is a perfect example of how soft the games become.
oh
Because
yeah,
what the heck? It's
that's
horrible.
I can't even. I used to like literally be so excited for All Star Weekend,
Yes.
the dunk
Yes.
contest, the
Yeah.
3-point shooting contest, all of that stuff. And I'm not saying it wasn't bad. I mean, he did a good job actually, but it's just not the same. You know, when I really started watching the dunk contest when Dominique Wilkins, like that's why I started wearing number 21, to be honest. When I was in high school, I started wearing number 21 because Dominique Wilkins after that dunk contest. But stuff just changed so much. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, even football. The All-Star, I mean, the Pro Bowl was what?
Flag.
Which I love flag football. I'm saying I think it's great for flag football, but it was just weird to me that it went to that format.
Right. So Link said that it went from competition to entertainment, and that
entertainment only.
Yes.
And it used to be entertainment and competition
Yes.
because now you got the best of these dudes on this side and the best of these dudes on this side. So it was entertaining, but they were trying to win. Now it's just like, And the bad thing is they do it for entertainment, but it's not even entertaining. It's not like
no,
I don't
not for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need us on a committee or something. Hey, he said,
no,
football does not belong in pro sports.
I don't know, Kevin. Flag football is kind of dope. I don't know. I've seen pro football players play against regular Joes in flag football and get toasted. But I get what you're saying. But I think we could do it aside from NFL. There could be a flag football league that could make a lot of money. I'm just saying.
I believe that. I've gone to the tournaments with Sadell the flag football tournaments, and they play for money. Okay, and they are good.
And this is very competitive. And to be honest, a lot of those people, especially on the men's side, on the women's side, there's athletes from all over. But on the men's side, like some of those guys did play in the NFL. A lot of those guys played in college. Like it's not like just right, yeah, not in the NFL. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Even though I was excited to see flag football, and I was really excited to see Vanita out there being able to do that because she's like the flag football guru. That was so dope to me. It was still weird to say this is the what? This is the
Pro Bowl in the NFL.
So that was weird, but it was still, I think, shed light on just the flag football world. But
okay, so real quick, because we got to get ready to go. But I got one more question for y'all because I just want to hear y'all's opinion. Okay, so there's this game. It's a softball game. Where is the NAIA softball game with two women's teams. This girl goes up to bat. she hits a grand slam. So everybody's coming around. But as she passes first base, she gets injured and she falls down. So she can't hit the rest of the bases, to come back to finish. But her grand slam is going to count regardless. But the opponent, the opposite team that she hit the grand slam on, they pick her up and they carry her to each base until she came to the last base, got that, and boom, everybody's celebrating. Now, I've heard, oh my gosh, that's such a great way of showing showmanship and camaraderie. This is great for the sport when everybody can come together. But on the opposite end, there are people talking about how soft the sports are in general and how there's no way that you're going to hit a grand slam on me and I'm going to help you go and hit each of these bases. I'm just curious, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that if y'all were on the losing team, are y'all going to help this girl or y'all going to wait for her team to come out the dugout and pick her up? I'm just curious.
I mean, I'm kind of like, why can't her team come help her? I mean, that's why
I wanted to ask the question, y'all, because Sadell she gonna tell you for real.
I mean, sorry, but I just, what the freak? I mean, I just feel like, it's a grand slam. We lose the game. It's going to count either way, like you said. Hobble yourself off. You don't even need to hit all the bases, first of all. But second of all, if you must, man, you better get 2 or 3 of them girls out that dugout. They should have been running out there to do that. And I'm not trying to be poor sportsmanship or whatever, but I just don't see myself saying, come on, guys, let's go help her around the bases. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I think that's hilarious. And I promise you, I love getting different opinions on this because there's some people who really do feel like that's true sportsmanship. Okay, we lost the game. But yeah, there's some people like, we lost.
It's great sportsmanship, but is it bad sportsmanship for me to not? I'm not booing her. The game is won. You did a great job. I'm not, I mean, poor sportsmanship is if I just, go over and try and tag her with the ball while she's down or, something crazy. But I just don't know that I'm not a good loser. Let me just say that.
And the teammates can come out of the dugout.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, she got teammates. If nobody's there with her, maybe we're going to come and help her. But she got people. You got people with you. And that's what I'm talking about. Shake hands and let's go. Like, I don't know that it's poor sportsmanship for me to not go around and help her get to all the bases. What?
Y'all are hilarious. Your teammates can help you across the park.
Yeah. Yes, Ellis. Because what?
The bases. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, good luck, Kevin. Good luck. Good job. See you later. But your girl's
carried her, but he congratulated her as I stepped over her leaving the field for real.
and like I said, if they're those kind of people, then great.
Matthew.
I'm sorry, what?
Matthew.
Boy, you tripping. I run sport. What are you talking about? Sore loser every time I run circles around your sports debates. First of all, I wouldn't agree that you've ever won a sports debate because
Matthew.
I wouldn't agree that you've ever won. Like, first of all, go back. He just come on just saying random stuff. You're not even.
He's not even being a part of the conversation. It's so random.
See what I'm saying? That's why I tell. So this is a thing. Matthew gets mad because sometimes I don't read his responses. But it's hypocritical for me to read everything that he writes because I tell my kids not everything deserves a response. Just like that. You talking about you run circles around me in debates. You never out debate. You're not going to out debate me. It's not going to happen. You're not going to out talk me about sports. Not going to happen. But good try though.
Dang.
Glad to see you.
Hey, y'all see why I asked the question about the softball team, because that's what y'all gonna get. Sadell is going. Hey, what is it? I can't even think of the daggone.
I don't know. I just
saying, but yes,
I know, but I'm not a good loser. I know that. I've gotten a lot better, but I'm not a good loser, and I cannot in any possible way see me going over to help her go around the bases. I mean, unless it's emergency and we trying to get her to the ambulance or something like that, but to go around the bases, like that's beyond me.
That's a bit much.
That's a lot much. Yeah.
Okay, Matthew. Wait, what you say? Sore losers never acknowledge that. And what?
First of all, sore losers. That I ain't say I don't win. I win most of the time. So let's get that straight. It's never an inability to win. It's not an inability to win. It's not. So you didn't check. I forgot to tell you. So you didn't actually check, Matthew. You just I just went 15-0 in district. I just won a district championship. So winning is not ever really been a problem. Like, I don't. It's when you win a lot, you don't like to lose. So I just try to do whatever I can to make sure I win. That's it. I mean, it's not acknowledging an inability to win. I mean,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
So, no. Ella's comment is there you have it. That type of mentality is probably why they losing.
Dang.
They probably got participation trophies growing up. Like, yay, everybody's a winner. No, it's not that way.
Oh my gosh, Matthew. Okay, it's time for us to go anyway. We have gone over the hour but I really was curious to see how y'all was gonna react to the whole softball story, and y'all have entertained me tonight with that. Thank you for that, because I love getting those opinions.
No.
Matthew, these stars here are gonna stay there. Okay.
He just came on being a hater.
You already know how I feel about my teams. I don't choose violence, but I'll match your energy. Okay, we got to get out of here. He does congratulate you, Sadell. And yes,
with a touch of hate.
Congratulating Sadell, because that is a huge feat to go 15-0 and win district. Congratulations. Like,
yeah,
that's dope. So y'all, we have to acknowledge each other, and that's like a huge feat. So okay, we got to wrap this up and get out of here. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If no one told you they loved you this week, just know that we love you so much. Thank you, Jeff. We love you so much, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Ellis. And we will definitely be back. Look, let me not say definitely. Hopefully be back next week. We got a lot of stuff going on, but we'll see you guys soon. We love you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Good night.
Peace out.